Alright, today we have an 80s throwback weekend. Kicking it off first is this Harry's 1980 two-door coffee brown Ford Fairmont. This thing hits me right in the feels. It was first one I owned was a brown two-door 79, but I digress. Let's move on. Obviously this car is LS swapped. It has a 6-liter with the good rods and pistons, not aftermarket, just the better stock ones obviously. It has a 4L80E, a yank converter. It is set up to manually shift. He's running a micro squirt ECU, 80-pound injectors, AEM 380 LPH pump, bunch of the usual sloppy stuff going on. It has the VS Racing Billet 8088 T4, not the big VS Billet 80, but the smaller one, and I was pretty happy to see this because that's a turbo that I want to try myself. So it was cool to have this on a 6-liter. I figured it would spool incredibly fast and make really good power, and it did both. And we will get to that a little bit later in the video, or I could spoil it now and tell you on 14 pounds it made 630 to the tire on straight pump conservatively through the unlocked auto. So it's a powerhouse, and with the 6-liter it lights off really well. I'm very curious to see the upper limits of something like this. So he brought it over, and he has 80-pound injectors in the AEM 380. They both run out at like a maximum of 700 horsepower through an auto. So he was asking about fuels and some other things. We went back and forth, and I'm like, well, you're kind of at the limit. You'll easily make that kind of power if everything is good with that size turbo and engine. It'll just be like bloop 600. So might as well bring it now, because you know, as far as his upgrade path goes, he wants to make more. He's capable of making more, obviously, with this setup, but the micro squirt can't run the 210-pound injectors, which is what he wants to go to, and he wants to do ethanol probably. So, you know, all of the things you would normally do for when you want to make reliable big power. So he's at a crossroads. He's trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do, where he wants to go, what ECU he wants to buy, trying to find something comfortable in his price range, etc. I'm sure a lot of you are in the same boat. Anyway, we made some pulls here on low boost. We started out at like 5 pounds, very easily made like 460, and we crept up on it messing with his boost controller. And one of the pulls I hit, I set boost cut for about 16 pounds. I hit that nicely, because at some point I was like, is this boost controller turning? It's a ball and spring. It just, something wasn't going on in the mid-range, and then boom, it took off. So maybe it had a hard spot or it was stuck. But either way, 630 on 14 pounds, weighs 3,000 pounds with him in it. I said, dude, this is going to be a rocket ship. Like, this is like a bad 60-foot 9-second car over 140 right now. So you can figure out what you want to do, get nuts, get some computer, injectors, fuel, and call me back, and we'll hammer it again. So enjoy.